Welcome to Adventures of a Time Traveler. I'm Trina, the Time Traveler, back for an amazing video. I wanted to do a video and kind of bring in one of my favorite energies. I know he's controversial, but I'm going to bring in Ted Bundy's energy. He's been with me all weekend, and for some reason, since I first channeled him last year, Ted has a liking for me, not in a sexual way, but I guess he says he respects the work that I do. Ted is kind of explaining to me that there is no heaven or hell. Religion has taught you wrong. Religion has actually helped you create your own hell. And that's how he's kind of bringing it through. When I first channeled Ted last year during a regression session that I had with one of the students who was in the class with me, Ted was very pleased with the work that he had done here. And as dark and demented as that may sound to especially religious people, he said it was work nonetheless. When a few days ago, I had someone ask me, and this individual isn't much into this, but kind of open and digs into this. And I don't speak about it to anyone, but he asked, like, was Ted in hell? And I was like, no. And he was really shocked. He was really surprised. A lot of us have been taught that when you do bad things that you go to hell. But what if you had a mission here to do something that was considered evil? Because we have to understand that in this reality, good and evil coexist together. What if in this lifetime he was supposed to here to be the yang to the yin, and that all of those individuals, some of the victims, were not, let's just say, he's kind of Ted is funny. So he's talking about their offspring and what their offspring would have brought to this planet. And he's saying that all of those quote unquote victims, he's saying quote unquote, but all of those victims were not really victims. He was here to cleanse that type of energy from this plane. Those who act innocent, those who hide behind religion, and in secrets, once they leave the church, they're out here fucking up the planet. They're out here wishing, doing witchcraft. He said the difference between him and them is he did his shit in the open. A lot of these people will do things in the dark. He's like throwing rocks and hiding their hands. He said that shit had to be deaded out. That shit had to go. Those type of frequencies, he said he was brought here to cleanse from the plane. And that's how he's bringing it through to me. I'm not justifying anything. One, I always say I don't have a fucking dog in the fight in this shit. I'm just a fucking messenger, man. Half the time, I don't even want to channel this shit, but I just got chills. But at this point, I've accepted my mission into getting people unlocked from this idea that bad people have bad things happen to them when they go on in the afterlife. And it's just not true. The hell that you create here is the hell that you will exist in when you pass on. So by the time that Ted Bundy passed on, Ted had come to a realization and an understanding of what his mission was. Ted created a type of form of heaven for himself, if you will, to where again he could revisit these things. He finds enjoyment in it. And again, to a lot of us, that sounds dark and demented, but for him, that's heaven. Okay. Don't sit around hating people. When you hate people, you're creating hell. When you sit there and you judge him, you're creating this energy of, he's saying, abandonment, abandoning your own mission, and the understanding of everyone's role in this plane. A lot of the victims that I encountered last year, a few of them, in which we tried to help them understand what was happening, they refused. They did not want to understand it. They wanted to stay in the hell that they were in. They wanted to relive those moments. Ooh, my right foot is, it's like a stab in my right foot. They wanted to stay there. There was one victim in particular that he unalived in the vehicle. And this individual, she refused. She refused to understand. We tried to get her to understand that that wasn't the only place that she had to be and had to exist in it. But she wanted to stay in that hell. She relived that moment over and over. And he's showing me still to this moment. Because again, time is not linear. Time is cyclical. And time doesn't exist in the way that we understand, especially on the other side. So when I saw that, I couldn't understand, like, why wouldn't she want to get help? Why wouldn't she want to get out of here? Why wouldn't she want to get away from him? It's because it was the hell that she created, and she wrapped her energy, she attached her energy to the trauma and the drama and all the pain that happened and occurred during those moments. And to this day, this is where she exists. So just understand that a lot of individuals, we can even say the elite people who run these platforms and everything, they won't exist in a hell. They create heavens for themselves while they're here. And this is where they will exist. It's a tricky thing. It's hard to understand and to wrap your mind around it. But if you step out of a religious box, if you step out of the thought of what was taught to you, before I started this video, I heard a song that they used to play in the church that I used to go to as a kid. And it was called Jesus is the Rock. And it went something like, Jesus is the rock of my salvation. It's better over me. It's love. So with that song, it took the responsibility and the control of self, and it gave it to someone else. It gave it to another power. It gave it to a Jesus character, if you will. And again, this is what a lot of these victims do. They gave their power to Ted. So can you be upset about that shit? Why are you mad at it? The victims aren't. The victims enjoy the hell that they created there. And that's how Ted is bringing it across. So I'm going to show gratitude for Ted coming through and explaining that in the best way he can. I hope this helps somebody. I hope at least one person hears this and can get themselves fucking set free. But I show y'all so much love and gratitude. And I'll talk to you soon. Ashe.